some conscious level admit that they don't necessarily know what is true, but they only are operating in beliefs.
I'm sorry, I was closing so many windows and there was so much going on. If you were asking me a question, I didn't hear it.
No, he was just talking. It wasn't at you, but welcome. If anybody didn't catch it, this is Cyber or Cyborg? Cyborg, yeah, from the conversation we just had.
Yeah, so why should I think that I have an objective view, or why should I think that someone else has an objective view of something?
Well, because if you don't think somebody knows better than everyone else, we'll just be arguing with each other. And therefore, hierarchy is the only way of, ordering or our idea of what is right and what is wrong, or what is best, and, not so good and worse.
Right. Well, I'm a theist, so I would agree with you, but I think that objectivity can exist only in Allah and not in myself.
In a law, did you say?
Allah.
Right.
Allah.
Yes. So
okay.
it could be a hypothetical supreme authority who knows everything and understands everything. So there you go. That really is the purpose of God, even if you're atheist. So even as atheists talk about, the best case scenario in the best of all possible worlds, in an ideal, in ideal surroundings, the kind of reaching out to God without maybe realizing it.
No, that's pretty fair. And I like the way you hedged that. And I think that's a thinking person's answer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've just had so much opposition today that your compliment took me completely
It's not a compliment.
unawares.
It's just an observation.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay.
Let it be a compliment,
take it as a
Richard.
compliment, I won't. I'm not going to be argumentative for the sake of being argumentative.
I mean, shouldn't we be talking about what is most likely the answer to whatever question at all times? Because we can't know what is objectively true. We can't know that.
Well, we can sort of, deduce from a range of possibilities which one of it is more probable. We could do that.
Well, let's look at that for just a second. If I say that the Abrahamic God is the ultimate God, there's no way for me to assert something like that, because there could be a higher God that made the Abrahamic God, which just kept itself for its own amount of power secret from that God. Perhaps it wanted to retire.
That could almost be like the Gnostic Sophia and the demiurge, couldn't it? Really, that's what Sophia did. Created something and hid it away because she did it without the consent of the
Well, I think that story is actually about the same as the assertions of Pandora's box, that it's an observation about the human condition. Philosophia, the love of knowledge, Sophia, knowledge. And yes, we're absent of it. So yes, she is hidden. Just like we're absent of hope. Go on the street and ask anyone to define faith. And they will then ask them to define hope. And it will be essentially the same definition, because people literally don't know what hope is. Even our definitions of the word hope is easily conflated with faith.
I think I determined hope to be a bit of a trap. It's something that traps people. Hope is, it should be a stepping stone, not a way of life kind of thing. It's not. People cling to hope.
Sure, but you could be talking about faith right now, making my point.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same thing, really? Because obviously the whole purpose of believing in the Abrahamic God and the afterlife is the hope and expectation that good will be rewarded and evil punished.
See, but you could have used the word faith there and meant the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I was saying that they're really the same thing.
Right. That's the problem. Actually, I believe, because of research and personal experience, both, and it adds to my happiness. I think it would add to anyone's happiness if they understood that faith is a position of trust that keeps a person trudging forward, and hope is the reassurance of the existence of things. So hope would involve knowledge, where faith is empowered by belief.
Okay, so what you're saying, it's more reasonable to. Well, okay. Does it really matter? If we're hopeful, then we'll do things in a hopeful way. If we are in despair, we're not going to try at all. So I mean that's the whole point of having
despair would be
the thing.
I agree with you. Despair would be the next step down, or maybe even 2 steps down from faith. But I believe that hope is the greater position, having an assurance, not having a belief of something.
Yeah, so basically having faith is that you hope for the best possible outcome, but you're not sure of it, but you still hope for it. Which is...
No, but you're still using hope the same way you use the word faith. What I'm saying is, for instance, I'm climbing a mountain, and I see the peak of the mountain, and I get close up to it and changing my position. I see that it actually doesn't level off, and that's not the peak. There's just a lesser slope I could not see, and I have more climbing to do. And you'll see this in real people. As they're climbing, they'll get slower and slower and slower until they see what they think is the peak, and they'll speed up, thinking they're finished. They'll find energy out of nowhere, and then if that's not the actual apex, they'll slow down again. And that's a great example of what is faith. But hope is getting to the top of the mountain where you are absolutely assured there is no more climbing to do.
Okay, well, we can never be sure. We can only hope, right? We're not certain.
Well, that depends.
Yeah, and it is religion that gives us our certainty, even if not many people believe, but you can see a difference, a qualitative difference in the group solidarity and the longevity of a group that has a religion. Because if you don't have a religion, we're just going to die alone.
What if a person doesn't have religion? Can they still have hope?
Yes, they can, but we're talking about group survival strategies, right? Is that what we're talking about, or maybe not? Maybe that's not what you want to talk about.
No, if that is the case, then hope is not defined by religion.
Well, you're more likely to have hope and faith in the future if you have if you have the expectation of an afterlife.
To be fair, I don't think that she said that in order to have a faith or hope, interchangeable, position, that a person needs a religious worldview, but only that
it helps.
That would be the larger category. That it's religious people having a faith position is a subcategory of having faith positions.
Yes, I mean it obviously helps. I'm not saying atheists don't, have faith in the future.
Of course they do.
Yeah, and I am myself agnostic, but
no, you're not. Stop it.
You don't seem very agnostic.
No, I'm just saying I understand the system, because even atheists say, "Oh, God, he's just an instrument of mind control. Religion is an instrument of mind control, etc." But obviously, our governments want to make us believe certain things in order to make us behave in a certain way. And they've always done so.
And before government, government and the church, religion, have always kind of gone hand in hand.
Yeah, because the church is before the time of mass media, people need to be gathered into a building every Sunday to be lectured at, and maybe have some group activity such as singing hymns and responding to whatever the priest is mumbling, that sort of thing. And then they think, oh, we are Christian. We live in a Christian kingdom, and we might even kill non-Christians, and for the sake of our absolute monarch, something like that.
Although that's not a very Christian thing to do.
Well, we don't know what
Yeah,
what to be Christian is really to worship Jesus, which I'm saying is idolatry. And this may be a problem if God exists.
That's funny because the Bible would have a person not worshiping Jesus, but I find that you're correct on average.
I'm afraid I don't understand what you were saying.
Sorry, that was kind of a broken sentence. I assumed too much that you would understand where I was coming from. Let me say more words. More Christians seem to idolize Christ, and the Bible would say the opposite, not to idolize Christ. In a direct quote from Christ, praise God.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bible is not one book, right? Even the Old Testament is not all from God, because if you ask the Jews, they'll say only the first 5 books of the Pentateuch are supposed to be the word of God. The rest were written by mortal and fallible men.
Yes, the prophets, etc. Right?
And as the Trinity confuses that whole thing of like Jesus saying that don't worship me, worship God, or give praise to God, my Father. But the Trinity says that Jesus is the Father.
So, well, you just committed a Christianese.
I can explain. I can explain the mystery of the Trinity, which I did in the previous stream that
not make it make sense. You can't.
Pardon?
You can't make it make sense in reality.
I can.
You could probably explain the way they explain it.
Yeah, it's 3 in 1, and Jesus is both God and the Holy Spirit, and co-equal, co-eternal, and co-substantial. And I'm saying
that's what they
this is how it's supposed to work, because the Trinity was conceived of by Athanasius in order to win a theological debate with the Jews, because the Jew would say to the Christian, "Hey, Christian, you worship Jesus, don't you?" And the Christian would have to say yes. And the Jew would say, "You worship Jesus because you think he's the Son of God, don't you?" And the Christian would have to say yes. And the Jew would say, "Well, your Jesus is the Son of our God, the God of Israel, and our God of Israel didn't die crucified for blasphemy, so we win."
Right. You just said this about 45 minutes ago on the other show. You said it better this time.
Thank you.
She might not. Well, she probably knows that you were listening. Never mind.
Oh, thank you. So you did understand and do remember.
Yeah,
and this is,
yeah. I don't bother to listen to people and talk to people unless I'm actually going to hear what they are saying.
Yes, I noticed that you were quite good like that, and that you were, clearly intelligent and educated, and you're not.
Oh no, not true on all counts. But anyway, okay, but how could the Bible make sense in reality in its description of what the Christians call the Trinity? Granting that word is not actually in the text.
The Bible doesn't mention the Trinity. Neither the Old nor the New Testament mentions the Trinity at all.
Do you mean the term, or there's no descriptors of it?
Well, I mean, Christians say, in the book of John, there's a verse that says, apparently the reported speech of Jesus, who said, "God and I are one." But I think a lot of people can remember, their parents saying, "Your father and I are one," about,
Well, no, right. That's a great example of what it actually intends to say.
Yes,
it doesn't mean that both your mom
and
unity. And dad are one human. It doesn't mean that.
No, we are one in agreement on, what we're telling you off about usually.
What, did you actually read this or something? Unlike most Christians, it seems that you're accurate. I don't know why.
Well, because I made a bit of a study of theology in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
Okay. Well, good for you. That's awesome. All right. So in considerations of like the arguments from indexicals and identity, I could say something like, I could ask a Christian, did Jesus hang on the cross? They will say yes. I could ask them if the Father hung on the cross. They would say no. That means they're two different persons. So they can't be a commonality of God. They can't both be God and have different experiences, because that would mean God is split and has different experiences, and now you're a modalist.
Yeah, so that's why Muslims talk about the oneness of God. He's just
Right.
one.
But of course, when a Muslim says Allah, and a Christian will say the Father God, they're conflating the Father with the God, because experientially that's the way they're reading it and internalizing it. And the Quran simply doesn't do that. The Quran never says something like, in fact, it says the absolute opposite. It never says something like Muhammad is God, even though if your only experience of God is through Muhammad. And that's the way the Bible is using the Father, is to say your experience of God is through the Father, not that the Father is God. And it does this more than once. It even says to Moses, you will be God to Aaron. Well, that doesn't make Moses God. It makes Moses Aaron's experience of God.
Well, I mean, Jews don't believe that any of their prophets are divine, and neither do Muslims. And they're saying believing in the divinity of anything means that you are guilty of idolatry. And unfortunately, they haven't dared to say it properly to, Christian leaders. And I think, that is a problem, for both Jews and Muslims. So they've allowed Christians to think that they're not idolaters, which is a mortal sin.
There's a reasonably intelligent man who's reasonably open and honest in conversation, who calls himself Nachikita, who is in chat presently, Claire, and wishes to have a conversation with you, or at least view your channel if you wanted to.
I already dropped the link.
Oh, my fault.
Shout out to Natch.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Office of Secular Quranism, which is live streaming this at the same time. So thank you for that, Flow State.
For sure. Thank you for coming over. Who else? Ahimsa, Izzy.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the exact same. I was going to ask the same questions but Rich took care of it.
But what I'm really trying to do is explain why it is necessary to adopt a rule system in order to get accountable government. Because I know people don't really notice it, but what we have now is our government having the power of an absolute monarch over us, because they can change the laws in any way they want. They can make marriage
as can any religious leader. Giving Sharia law, giving them more power via Sharia law would not do anything to restrict their ability to change it.
Well, what you need to do is to have a list of laws, so that
we have a list of
when
laws.
they go against it, we would know that they've gone against it.
Well, we can't do that with the Sharia laws, because there's many things here that are like apostasy, right? That could be any disagreement.
Yep.
I don't think you read the Quran, because if you did read it, you would know that there is no verse in the Quran that prescribes the death penalty for the apostate. That only comes from the Hadith.
That is not
right.
I have
and the Hadith contradicts the Quran. The Muslims won't admit it, and some of them actually admit that they prefer the Hadith to the Quran.
Izzy, go ahead.
The Hadith is Muhammad's teachings, basically, and it's similar to the New Testament. It's a bunch of his followers put, his words together. But I'm actually more afraid of the Hadith than I am the Quran, because of the teaching.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here. Did you hear what she just said?
No, I didn't hear anything, I'm afraid.
Oh, I heard her perfectly.
Can you hear me now?
No, I'm afraid I didn't hear her question. If she...
Can you hear her now?
No.
Hear me now.
Well,
Will someone relay what I said to her?
Is anybody having trouble hearing besides?
No, I heard you, Izzy. Can you just? I know she might have not heard you. Just go again. Go again.
Can
Let her
you
know what you
what's her name again?
Claire.
I
Claire,
can't
can
hear
you
a
hear
female
me?
voice at all.
Well, that's really convenient. Just
That
the
is
men.
convenient as fuck.
It does
Well,
happen, though. It does happen sometimes.
Is there
You
anybody
can
else at
only
all who
listen
cannot
to
hear
women.
Izzy?
I can
Claire.
hear.
Can you hear me?
Fine.
Yes,
Fine.
can
I
hear
can't
you
hear
too.
a female voice.
Interesting. Are you AI?
Ahimsa, why don't you go ahead and can she hear your voice?
Yeah, I think you can.
Did you hear that, Claire?
No.
It is interesting. After I said something, she said, "I don't hear a female
Are
voice."
they from spaces or something?
To be fair, Izzy, there were things we commented on that indicated that you were of the female persuasion.
Gotcha. Okay, I might have missed that.
Like when we said, "Oh, you can't hear her."
Hold on. I'm going to drop everybody down except for the women.
Okay.
All right. Can
I
you
thought
hear me?
YouTube wouldn't have these issues.
I can hear you, Izzy.
Okay, so the Caliphate or Khalifa Uthman ibn Affan, who wrote the Hadith, I find it actually more scary than the Quran because of the teachings in there. No?
I have no dog in the fight. I've not read it. Sorry.
Well, I have read it, and I have read the entire
No, all I
Quran.
hear
In
is
fact,
dead
I
air.
was born in a Muslim country.
Can she hear us though?
She can hear you because I can hear you on her restream. Claire, stop lying.
Okay, there are obviously issues. I'm not sure what to do.
Is this
Is this a gotcha moment? Is that why we're all quiet now? Like, what's
It's
happening?
probably a gotcha, or I don't know. Is there something? Is there something about talking to women? Is this a dude with a voice changer? And
Most likely.
It doesn't
I
sound
can't hear
authentic.
anybody now.
Oh no! How convenient.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
Claire, do you know why you can't hear certain people on panel?
it's selective.
I don't think she can hear you either, Brick.
Will you direct her to read the chat?
That's how I know she's a guy.
Pen.
No,
Oh yeah,
I
are you
can't
reading
hear
the chat,
anyone.
Claire? Since you can't hear Izzy, she's typing in chat.
Oh, it's not working today.
Oh no!
All right, let me read it for you. She says the Hadith was written by the Caliph Uthman
Yeah.
al-Ibn
Maybe I shouldn't even come
ibn
back again.
Affan of
I won't
the
even come back again.
Rashidun Caliphate, or third successor of Muhammad.
Yep. And it is a bunch
She
of
needs to go out
stories.
and come back
Did
in
she
again.
just bail?
I think she's
She
maybe
said
Yeah,
she's going to
because she can't
refresh.
hear woman. She can't hear woman. I know it's hard.
You know, when you talk to AI, you have to ask the AI at AI.
I don't think she's AI. I think she's a dude.
I
really do.
don't think she's.
Well, dudes don't normally get giggly when you say, "Hey, that what you just said would made sense." She got giggly.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Well, some dude do get giggly. Have you seen some of those dudes these days?
I don't know. Your definition of dude and mine might differ.
No, and I think we're talking about the same dudes, you and I.
They're not really dudes.
The non-men. Bless you.
They're not dudes.
Yeah.
I think a dude thinks that there are two sexes, and a 1 in 50,000 chance that you're both. And I don't think that dudes think that sex or gender is fluid. That's not a dude. That's something else.
The one that was saying it was gender fluid was somebody else.
I don't think she's a dude. I don't think it's a voice changer. I think she's
So the Hadith was also written literally 2 centuries after Muhammad died, and
so
even
there was an oral tradition, is what you're saying, yeah?
Exactly. And I was even going to mention to her, him, whoever, even on his deathbed, he said that he wasn't sure if he's going to make it to heaven, and that's in the Quran.
And that's indicative of what?
Muhammad.
Muhammad saying that is indicative of what?
Of not doing enough good deeds, I guess.
Okay, so it's like saying none of us are good enough, including me.
Right.
Okay. What's
And
wrong with
the
that?
Old Testament, no, nothing. I was just gonna follow up with some of her stuff she was saying earlier.
Sorry.
The Bible's, the Quran, some of the wording or some of the stories are copy and paste of the Old Testament.
Well,
yeah.
Have you heard the suggestion that the Quran was rewritten by the Jesuits, and that the
Yes.
Quran that exists now was rewritten by the Jesuits? They did it in written Arabic, which isn't the same as spoken Arabic. So everybody had to basically get a dictionary to learn
the words
Arabic version of the Quran.
Right.
So it's not really. I think it's a different Quran to the one that existed during the Ottoman Empire days.
Right. Agreed. So can you hear us now, Claire?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I know that all these theories and that the Quran isn't really the Quran. I've heard anti-Semites blame Jews for Christianity and Islam and said, "Oh, the Jews wrote the Quran." So,
or became the Jesuits and then basically messed with everything.
Yeah, I just want you to know that I don't want to go anywhere near conspiracy theories. There's no need, as far as I'm concerned, to even talk about them, and talking about them just gets you labeled conspiracy theorist, and that's a status lowering thing. So
it's a badge I've worn proudly for at least the last 11 years.
I am willing to wear one.
It doesn't frighten me to discuss things openly they're not theories. They're not theories anymore. They've been proven through research of thousands, tens of thousands of people scouring over documents. So it's not the conspiracy theory is a term penned by the CIA to throw everybody off the fucking John F. Kennedy assassination.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, this is what I
Hold
don't
on,
want.
hold on.
Let me,
We're just going to
hold on. My mic.
It will be just derailed.
Don't talk over me. Thick Skulls. I don't know who you are. This is the first time you've been here. Cool your jets or you're gone forever. Aheem's, I keep muting you because when you're unmuted, your mic is like clacking or something. It's not terrible, but it's persistent.
Okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna sign off. Yeah, I can't get rid of it. I've signed out.
But if you
in.
got something when you're talking, it's not there. So if you got something to say, now's a great time for it.
Yeah, I think she sounds AI. And why would anyone here care about being labeled a conspiracy theorist? Because I mean, if you've watched Flo's show for any longer than a second, no one cares.
Not even that. We're literally on YouTube.
Right.
So I do have a question for you, Claire. So in the Quran and in the Hadith, they say that infidels should be stoned to death or killed. Do you agree with that?
Of course not. And it's
But
not
it's
in
written
the
in the Quran.
It's not in there's no mention of stoning. Please, people just read the Quran without,
There's no mention. Are you sure about that?
What?
There's no mention of killing infidels and Jews?
they are battle orders. So 929 is a favorite quote. It says, seek them and find them and slice up their fingers
Slaughter
and
them.
spread
Yep.
out their throats. But these are battle orders in the context of fighting a battle.
No,
It doesn't say,
that's
okay,
Is
you
it not true? Sorry, is it not true that the Quran also says if your enemy puts down their sword, you have to as well? Shake your head this away.
There is some verse to that effect, and it's like if they leave you alone, leave them alone. Do not exceed the boundaries.
Correct.
But that verse is clearly a battle order.
So yes, obviously. So in order to justify that, one cannot say universally that outside of a war, that any person who believes these things, is to go and seek out their enemy and kill them relentlessly. You cannot justify that idea.
No, and only the head of the Islamic State has the right to, declare these things, like declare war.
Okay. What language have you read the Quran in?
I don't read Arabic.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Interesting.
I know Muslims will say, "Oh, if you can't read Arabic."
AI.
No, I didn't. Again, I speak the language. I also speak a couple of other languages that are very close to Arabic. And was just curious.
Do you speak Farsi, Izzy?
I do. In addition to Arabic, read, write, dreaming, you name it. And I can quote you a lot of verses from the Quran where it does say to slaughter people that are non-believers.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder about the usage of the word stone there that you quoted, because Christians often mistranslate the word stone. And in fact, when you read it in English, it is mistranslated as a means to kill someone, to physically injure them. But then the text itself of the Bible, a lot of people take it that way. But the Bible only bothers itself, troubles itself to define the usage of 5 different words, and stone is one of them. And the description of a stone is something that no man has lifted a tool upon, and contains all the word of God, the law of God. And in order for something to be a stone, it literally has to have the writings of all of the word of God in it, not on top of it, which means it's embedded, and no man could have done that. Now, that is evidently poetically the Bible itself. It's referring to itself as a stone. It doesn't mean a rock.
What about the verse where they tried to stone that one prostitute, and Jesus said, "Whoever had not sinned, cast your first stone"?
Great point. Again, even the Jews misunderstand the word stone there as meaning a rock, and they actually have done it in history. Not that it was originated by the Tanakh. The idea of rocking someone to death is an older idea than Tanakh. But it's a misunderstanding because it even defines what it means by stone.
Right. Flo, I don't know if I ever told you, but one time GS, it was kind of funny, GS said that I should be stoned to death because I worked for the Americans, against the Arabs.
Who said that?
GS.
I
have it on video.
Specific.
Yeah.
You can't get stoned to death, man. It's impossible.
It takes too much weed.
You could.
So, am I allowed to make my point before I go?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Krishna Chiquita.
Fucked up, right?
Who's talking?
Sorry.
No, I
That's
don't hear
Izzy
any
playing
females.
around.
Are there
Okay,
females
I mean, you don't really want. It's just content for you, right? You just
All
want
right.
voices.
All right, I was just messing. Go ahead.
So I'm saying, all these punishments, they don't exist in the Quran. So if you were minded to follow any set of rules, you would choose the book that doesn't have all these horrible punishments, and that ain't the Quran. It's a Torah that has 36 capital offenses. And as for the New Testament, nothing in it comes from God anyway, because not even the Christians claim that the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and all the others were written by Jesus, let alone God. So the Christians have this low status scripture
Who
that
wrote
they
the
don't
Quran?
follow anyway.
Where did the
Second
Quran come
Timothy
from?
3:16.
And
No,
I
can
didn't
I
hear
ask that
that.
question? Where did the Quran come from?
It came from Muhammad, who delivered the message.
But Muhammad did not know how to read and write.
Yeah, so he recited these words and they were taken down by scribes.
In fact, he claims that his first miracle was God or the angel of death,
Yeah,
told him,
you
oh,
know
now
what? I really am agnostic. I don't care about all these sort of narratives. Like, how did he do that? And
Let
did
her
Moses
finish.
take dictation from
Let
God,
her
or did he write it
finish.
himself?
Go ahead.
Izzy, you mean? For me
Yeah,
to finish?
yeah. Izzy finished. I was interested in the story you were telling.
Okay, so his first miracle when he married Khadija and when, used all of her wealth, as you know, he was an orphan, didn't have any money, and, he would creep every night and disappear. And finally, he went into this cave, and the angel of death came out of nowhere and told him, go ahead. Now, your first miracle, you can read and write. I'm sorry. If I were the prophet or the chosen prophet, read and write, really? That's the freaking, miracle that you give me? That's it, and not even that. And even after that, he did not write the Quran. The Quran came after 200 and some odd years after Muhammad's death.
I was going to say there was a couple of centuries between, wasn't there?
Right.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about these stories, right? So,
But
so
those
can we just
stories are
sort of
in the
get off this
Quran
sort
and the
of
Hadith.
storytelling crap? I'm just saying,
Okay.
if you just,
You
I'll
came up
go
with it,
when
though.
I can make my point, right? I mean,
What
do
is
you
your point?
owe it to yourselves just to
What's
let
your
me
point?
make my point instead of telling me fucking idiotic stories?
God,
Well,
you
those
are
are the
really.
stories that are in the Quran.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about them. Do you understand?
No,
I
you
don't
gave a
give
lot
a
of crap
shit
about them
about
earlier.
these stories.
Why are you
All
getting
right?
so triggered?
It's very
Yeah,
triggered.
because I
very-
can't make it any clearer to you that I don't give a shit about these
We're
stories.
just having a discussion. It's okay.
Yeah, I want to
I
make
won't
my
change
point.
my mind because I don't have to, because I'm an American. I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
I have to say, I've never seen anybody upset on Flo's channel, but go ahead.
You haven't?
I'm gonna sign off. This
No.
topic of the Quran doesn't really interest me, and I think it's AI. I think it's Nachikita.
Same. I have
Thank
to
you for
agree
joining.
with
Bye.
agree.
Bye.
It does not interest me, but
Yeah,
those
so
people
stop
are the
telling
ones
these
that
dumb
came up.
stories then.
I'm talking. So those people literally said it was okay to go ahead and kill me. They had price on my head. Those
Here we
people.
go again. They want to kill me. That's your winning argument, right?
I don't think you know any.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
don't
go
wanna
ahead.
kill
What's your
me.
point?
Yeah, my point is that if you're going to choose a book of rules that has 2 sets of laws and one of them has 36 capital offenses, i.e. the Torah, then if you were being
Nope,
sensible,
not true.
you wouldn't want to choose that.
Your book
Not
sucks,
true.
though. Your rules suck.
Yeah, 36 capital offenses do suck.
That's not true. We're not
Big
talking about
time.
but we're not talking about the Torah. We're talking about the Quran.
Yeah, I'm
And
saying the Quran doesn't have 36 capital offenses.
are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like whataboutism.
Find me all these capital offenses.
Look at that person over there. Look at what they did. I didn't do anything wrong.
We're talking about the book, Maimonides. You must have heard of Maimonides, Izzy, since you're obviously Jewish. The Rambam.
Yes, I'm Jewish. Wow, how'd you come up with that one?
Yeah, so I think you know what the Rambam says. about the
You
36
think I'm
capital
Jewish?
offenses, or maybe you don't. Maybe a lot of Jews don't even know what the hell they're supposed to believe in anyway
You
these
probably
days.
did you know I'm from Israel?
Well, good for you.
Is it obvious?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You could be American, I don't know, or Persian.
I could be
Did you know that
anything.
I'm the Pope?
I can be anything.
I
I
identify.
gotta
as
admit, Izzy,
He's everything.
I've always thought that you're Israeli, or
Did you really?
dual nationality, maybe.
But I don't have a big nose. Just kidding.
ADHD and American and Islamophobic.
You are absolutely correct.
I know. Still, it's great
That was
content, huh?
That was
It's
sarcasm.
great content.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
Claire, what is an ism?
What?
What is an ism?
After problems.
Ideology. It's an ideology.
Wait, I almost have this memorized. An ism is a schism, which oh crap.
An ism is a prism, as in a prison for your mind. Don't get stuck in the ism. Calling someone homophobic or whatever you want to call it, it's not going to work.
Did I do anything like that?
I
I'm just
never,
trying to
by the
make
way,
a
I
little
never called
point,
you
and I
anything.
see that nobody's interested.
Well, the
because
No, but I
I
just
think
want
the
to
problem with the
make it.
Jews
I
is
just
that
want to
they
make
can't
one
prove
point. I'm not even
one
close
point.
to Jews, but go ahead. Listen, the one point I want to make, I never called you any names.
I haven't
Okay,
called
so
you
I
any
have
names.
I have the spirit of the conversation.
Okay.
We'll move on. And Teo, I don't have no idea how to say it. Teo.
No, he's
Teo.
Christian.
I have no
From
idea.
Nigeria.
He came in for some specific reason, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I came in for the vibes, bro. This shit was too funny. I had to come in, and I know Claire. That's how I.
Yeah, we
found
know
this.
each other. And we've met, so I'm not AI.
You've met in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can we do a cam check?
No.
All right.
Nice.
Look at that.
Awesome.
A person who looks like their picture.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so true. So rare these days.
What's Claire look like?
Hey, dude, I look just like my picture.
You actually do, Richie.
Except your
close.
nose isn't missing because of cancer.
No, I'm lucky with that one. I kept my nose.
By the way, everyone, that's a real human being that's a photo of. I've seen that story.
I'm totally
Right.
a duck right now.
That's a problem
I'm
with
just an
time
AI.
differences, that when the Americans are awake, the Australians are drunk, and the British are too busy
Doing what?
doing their daytime stuff.
The British are too stuck up their own arse.
Yeah, they're bad, aren't they? So,
Yeah, that's why I left in 2009. So
where are you now?
What were the Americans doing again? I forget.
Claire, not Chiquita, maybe to your lack of knowledge, has again reiterated he'd like to have a conversation with you.
come up, Natch. Jump
Yeah,
on.
why not come up?
Yeah, he's an amazing person. I mean, great person, really.
Would love to hear
I'll mute
their
up, dude.
perspective.
Could I just sort of make a quick point about the Torah and the Quran? I think it would be nice if rabbis and Islamic scholars had a debate, a discussion or demonstration to see which book is better. I think that would clear up a lot
Why?
of things. Then we'd all know which is the best religion and best book to follow.
Well, are
But
there
that's
any
not how it
rabbis on the
works.
panel? Are there any rabbis?
I
on the
know Jews wouldn't dare to do it because they know that the Torah have 36 capital offenses,
Do you
and
feel
no
like
Jew
you
wants
need
to
a
live
book?
under a Torah
But what's the
theocracy.
point, though? So it's a competition who wrote less?
Yeah, it's a competition about who has the best book.
And do you think that's how people will join a religion?
Yeah, but okay, well, if they were logical,
I have
they
better
would
books
say,
than both of
well,
us.
we'd rather live under this system that doesn't have 36 capital offenses than the one that does.
Yeah, fuck those 36 capital offenses.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, those are, like to your point earlier, those are about battles that happened way back when.
No,
You're taking it out of context. You're taking them. And by the way, I read all of
stoning
those
for
big
breaking the
religions.
Sabbath is not a war thing.
Say that again.
Jews attract the death penalty if they break the Sabbath. It is stoning. You're taken outside the city gates and stoned to death. That's it's in the
Wait,
Torah.
didn't we just cover
That
this?
didn't happen.
How would you know? You weren't there.
Well, from what I read, remember, we're comparing reading.
You're
right?
not an Orthodox Jewess anyway.
I might be.
Did you say
I can tell
Jewish?
you're not. I
How
have
can you
made a
tell?
study of your people. You're very assimilated.
Ooh.
Ooh, zesty.
I have a question for, I think you say it's Claire, right?
Yes.
Where do you get the 36 like capital offenses though in the Torah? I don't know where you get 36 capital.
Well,
They
it's
don't
in-
exist.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Liz. They don't exist because I've
I'll give you
studied
the
the
link.
Torah up and down, and there's not 36 capital offenses in the Torah at all. I don't
Right.
know where you get that.
I literally read all of them. Go ahead and send it, and make sure it's an actually trusted source, not something that you wrote.
It's from the BBC,
Yeah, I like to
actually.
see this myself.
Wait, do you do
Claire, are
gematria,
you a man?
Claire? Two questions.
What if I were?
I'm just curious. We would be very proud of you.
Thanks.
For being honest.
you?
Why would you be more proud of me if I were a man?
I would be even more proud of you if you were a woman. It's just a question.
Okay. Do you think I sound like a man?
No, I mean, I'm just asking. Are you a man?
Well, it's just a strange thing to ask. I mean, I'm not going to ask.
Why
you
not?
if
I
I'm-
ask Flo that all the time.
She does all the time, and I'm always like,
Do I have the voice of a man?
It's
"Do
questionable.
you have the balls of a man?"
Well, actually, a lot of people keep assuming I'm a man, but I'm not.
She said
I put it in the private chat, and it's actually from the BBC. It's not listed.
No, we said trusted sources.
Well, I know that's the best I can do,
That's
but
not
obviously it's somewhere.
No, I think
I'm sure
this
a
is
rabbi
about-
would confirm.
Oh, Grid,
I
I
thought-
agree. I
I
asked
thought
for the.
that you. Yeah, I thought that you said that the Quran had 36.
No.
Well,
She's
yeah,
been
no, I don't want that either.
here.
I don't want either. of them.
Grid, I asked the same thing. I said, cam up, but, you know, she's shy.
I'll cam up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And look at me.
Everybody blast your nips.
I literally have 10 minutes and then I have to skedaddle.
Claire, if it wasn't 36, let's say it was 5, would you agree with them?
No, I'm just saying a rational person, if they had to choose between two books, they would choose the one without 36 capital offenses.
A
Well,
rational
I would-
person would not
Okay.
choose based
That's
off
not-
just
it's not the
off a
question.
book.
This is something that you do quite regularly, Claire, is somebody asks you a question, you do not answer it, you completely obfuscate from it. I asked you
Are
a
you
simple
doing the
question-
Job against God thing? Is that what you're doing there, Brick?
Well, sort of, yes.
There's 50 good men in the city. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there are some reasonable understandings that some things just aren't tolerable here on the earth. That if I, as a man, were to judge it, I would probably judge, yeah, get that dude, get him. If it was, say, one capital offense, would you agree with it? Like the one, I don't know, life for a life? Would you agree with that one?
Yes, because I support the principle of capital punishment.
Okay, I was just curious. I was just wondering.
So, as an agnostic, none of these paradigms in which somebody's idolatrous book rules over me in my life is appealing at all. I'm going to have to reject all of them whole cloth.
Yeah, but you haven't got a better book.
I don't want to be ruled by a book.
Oh,
Oh.
well, you prefer to be ruled by your own opinions. And that's
Yes,
a problem.
I
Everybody
do.
does.
I don't need a book.
Absolutely.
Opinions, experience, and
Everybody's
faith.
She's cooking.
I'll rule myself. Your book can fuck itself.
Wait,
Well,
which book are you
that's what
selling,
the
Claire?
people in Congress think about you people, and they have they control the levers of
Whose
power.
people?
They can fuck
people?
themselves too.
Yeah, it's pretty much how every person on this planet rules themselves. Is they go by their own based opinion, what they figure
Wait.
is based.
Claire, why would you say you people? My feelings are hurt.
Why? You don't like the people around you?
No, you're putting me in a box.
Do you prefer
Right,
to be
so-
put in something else?
I like to be put in.
Claire,
box.
you do.
I don't want to be put in
I
a
don't
box.
fit in any box.
I don't fit in anything.
I like to put my dick in a box.
Oh my
you sent
gosh,
it
you
to
are so
it.
gross.
Fucking hell.
Dude.
So Claire, you do understand that if it wasn't for the fact that you actually agree with the book, that you wouldn't follow it at all.
She's not a Muslim. You guys know that, right?
I am
Yeah,
honestly lost at this point. I don't even know what she's selling.
She's absolutely a Muslim. That's why she gets emotional every
She's
time.
absolutely against the
I
Torah
just
and
get
the Jews.
impatient with people being stupid and not understanding.
Okay,
what
like I
words
said
they're
before,
saying.
if you're not a Muslim, just denounce Allah.
Yeah.
No, because I see the hypothetical supreme authority
You're
as
a Muslim.
necessary
You are a
for
Muslim.
moral reasoning.
We can
You don't
see your
understand what I'm
profile
saying.
picture, dummy.
You
Claire,
are a
Claire.
Muslim. Spread the
Claire,
word with the
one more
sword.
question. One more question, and I'll leave you alone for it, okay? Would you denounce Jehovah or Yahweh?
No, he's a God is a necessary thinking tool for moral
Okay.
reasoning.
What?
Not
Wait.
true.
Well, it's
You
my
can have
opinion.
moral. No, morality is not at all dependent upon religious thinking. Morality is pragmatic, and there's reasons for it. We're social animals. If we treat each other well, then the group will treat us well back. That's what morality is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not working now, is it?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
because
Claire, you
everybody's
really don't.
confused by religion.
But
Claire, you don't give a crap about Muhammad.
clearly,
No,
Well, I mean, I see prophets are necessary. I think postmen are necessary. Delivery boys are necessary for us to get our
Prophets
stuff.
So
are
you
not
think he was
necessary to an
unnecessary?
agnostic.
I didn't hear the question.
Prophets are not necessary to an agnostic.
Well, they're necessary to the narrative of any religion.
They
Yeah,
weren't
but-
for you. You
but
support the
you're
religion in spite of not believing that it's true. That's what you
Because
said.
I
At least.
see
I
religion
think
as
he was a
necessary.
pedophile. I really do.
I'm confused, Clara. Are you agnostic or not?
I am agnostic.
That doesn't make any sense. Then
I don't think so.
I don't think you're agnostic.
Yeah, I think that this is a religious person who's trying to masquerade as agnostic to sneak in the worldview gaslighting.
Oh, well, you can ask some Muslims and ask them if I'm Muslim
Yeah,
or not,
Muslims
right?
don't
Do you want me
like
to
that.
send them to you?
Muslims,
Go ahead and denounce
No,
Allah.
I'm fine. I can make again. I can think for myself. I will let my own thoughts and decisions guide me.
from the best I've
Everybody
been able
has
to make
opinion.
out.
Sorry, Teo, go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
From what I've been able to gather about Claire, I don't think she's a Muslim. I think she's a pragmatist that thinks everyone should live under Sharia law.
Then wouldn't it make sense that she would be able to renounce the God she doesn't believe in?
Yeah, that's a little tricky. What's your reason for not renouncing that Allah?
I'm saying that as an agnostic, I do not deny God. I neither accept his existence nor
Because
deny
it's a
it.
sin.
So
Why would you not rely on your own personal experience with God? Why do you need
because
men
nobody
from
experiences
1,000
God.
years ago?
Nobody
Sorry?
experiences God until they're
Sorry?
dead, and maybe not even
Sorry?
then.
Really?
Oh, Judgment
Yeah,
Day, you
because
mean?
nobody
Really?
who is alive has met God, right?
Really?
Didn't
You
Allah?
sure?
Well,
You sure of that?
Didn't,
I thought
Didn't
that
How
was
do you
general
know that,
knowledge.
though?
Was
How
that only for
can you be
people that
sure?
lived 2,000 years ago? Well, are we not entitled to that? Are people not entitled to have a personal experience with God now? That was
Yeah,
only
they
entitled
only
to
think
people
they
2,000
might have
years
had
ago.
it.
Look,
Yeah, they're usually drunk or drugged, right?
Muhammad experienced God. If you're
Okay, well,
Hang on. What did you just say?
I've
What did you
forgotten
just
now.
say, Claire?
She was saying
I
that
said,
you.
I said people who think that they've experienced God are usually drunk or drugged.
Wow. So Muhammad was
Yeah.
drunk or drugged, which I actually
And
believe.
Jesus was obviously drunk or drugged, and
Well, I
and
don't believe in
Paul
that
and
shit,
Peter
do I?
and James and
I don't
all the
believe in
other.
that, Christo crap, do I?
So,
There we
She doesn't
go.
believe in you don't
All
believe in
right.
Christianity.
Wait,
We
wait.
get
so
it.
Christ is crap. Hold on. Christ is crap. Now do Allah.
I have a problem with
No.
idolatry.
Well, so here's the thing.
Christians worship a man.
I don't understand. You can be agnostic and have a problem with idolatry.
If you're agnostic, then none of the religions matter, right? But if you're atheist, then you're against it. So you're more likely atheist towards Christ, but then agnostic towards the Islam.
Let me tell you my findings. The fact that she is so dead set on hating the Jews, and she
when
quoted
did
all
I
these
express
things
hatred for Jews?
about the Quran, tells me everything.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
when did I say I hated Jews?
We can suss it out of your worldview.
Yeah, your worldview kind of.
Well, I'm sure you can find it.
Because
Stuff that I
people-
said, but I've never said I hated Jews.
Can you guys hear
You
me?
don't have to.
You're just projecting your feelings.
You don't have to say it. We can interpret things.
Are you all Jews? Have I
I don't know. I
stumbled?
might be. I got
Well,
some
you know that
Bible
I'm
knowledge.
not because I keep saying over and
Well,
over
what's
again, I'm a
wrong with
real
that, you wrong?
agnostic.
I will say
I'm
this,
pretty
Claire,
Jewish. I'm not.
you're a great sport. I really appreciate this conversation, and I am appreciating that you're sharing your view. Thank you.
I don't know if it's a great sport so much as, anyways. I wouldn't click the links.
We do not discriminate against any religion, so you're good.
I discriminate against all of them equally.
Yes, he does.
I see your religion as a
Equally, all of them equally. That seems a bit of a stretch. I think
It might
some
be.
of-
It's probably a stretch, but yeah.
Religion is what existed before Hollywood. Once Hollywood existed, religion got involved with that. It's always fucking psyop to control the way you think.
Now, Flow State, you can't have something against Jainism.
I don't know any Jains.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of religions that you don't know an actual practitioner, but still have something against them. And isn't that an
Hold on.
exception?
Hey, Blind, stop putting shit in my chat that's against TOS.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes.
Hey Claire, what if I would just tell you I'm actually a Muslim and I was just messing with you?
No problem.
Okay. Praise be.
Actually, Flo, I'm going to say you have met Jane. You know Mary Jane.
Touche.
I'm joking, I know.
What the heck is Jainism?
I'm not
It's
supposed
a
anyone
it's a
anything.
religion founded in Asia, if I remember correctly.
India.
It's a form of extremism where you don't,
India.
you try not to hurt absolutely anything to the extent of keeping a filter over your drink so that a gnat won't drown in it. And they actually like drink through a cloth.
I thought that was a like extreme Buddhism where they worry about where they step their feet and everything. Look
Oh, yes.
really carefully where they step in.
Yeah, I do those things.
I feel really fucking bad if I accidentally step on something, like especially a slug.
Do you really?
I do. I really do.
Have you given yourself the forgiveness of some things are too small to see and you know that you're killing them accidentally?
I just give me the forgiveness of, hey, that's the circle of life, man. What can I do? I didn't do it intentionally.
There you go. That's good.
Well,
That's healthy.
Well, it's easier to not think about it when you don't really know it. But I know when I know that I stepped on something, then I feel pretty bad about it.
Like, as gay as it might sound, if I do it, like if I accidentally kill something,
It's totally gay.
I apologize for it. Like I'm genuinely sorry for it because I never intended to kill it.
It's not gay to respect life and live by a motto like, if I'm going to kill it, I also should be eating it. And if you don't intend to eat it, you shouldn't kill it.
I'm not
There's
going to
nothing wrong with that.
So you have to eat those bugs.
I ain't going to eat a cockroach.
Well, then
Yeah,
you should.
Not either.
And I
with the
don't
You
rattlers,
should.
watching them either.
If you're not going to
So-
eat it, then you should feel bad about it. Yeah.
yeah, if that rattler's crawling through the sidewalk in front of me, I'm probably gonna take the shovel and smash its head.
I see
A
it as this-
rattler? A snake? Why?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why? Have you ever been
Because
bitten
it's
by
a
one or know someone who has?
Mm-hmm. I haven't been
You
bitten.
do?
But I do know someone who has. Yep.
You know someone who has, and are they okay?
Yeah, I'm more worried about. I mean, I know it's a cliche thing. I'm more worried about the.
All
kids.
right, I gotta show you something. Look at this.
It's a steering wheel. Good job.
Is it?
It's
Right.
a
I
dashboard.
can't
So what's it
send me a
saying?
screenshot of it. I can't see what
Okay,
it
it
says.
says oil pressure 37.
And what's it supposed to be?
I don't know because Flo
Well,
changed
send me a
it.
screenshot of, or take a picture of it and send it to me. And did you set up an appointment for the oil change? No.
No, not yet, Mother, but I will.
Are you
But I
still
just-
driving around with a bunch of plants in your vehicle?
I'm delivering
Ver-
some to school. Can you see?
A
Yes.
variegated leaf,
Are they lilies?
decorative, flowerless.
I don't know.
No.
What is it? What are they called?
You have an addiction.
No, they're going to school.
A plant addiction.
Her addiction is buying plants.
A
No,
plant
they're going to
addiction, yeah.
they're going to a good cause.
When I met her the first time, she gave me 9 plants.
9,
They're
more like 4.
My goodness.
they're going to a good cause. Just sounds like justification for your addiction.
They look
No,
like-
listen. No, honestly, I had those, and I'm like, let's get rid of some of the stuff that I have because they're multiplying. So I gave some to Flo. I'm sure they're already dead, and I'm taking
No, they're
some
not
to
at
school.
all.
Really?
Not one of them is dead.
That's shocking.
Not
His
really.
thumb's a little bit yellow, but it's basically green.
So Flo, I
even-
don't know if you
That
know.
looks shocking.
Have you guys heard of
oh.
an air plant?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have one now, and it's alive and well.
Have you guys heard of
So
that?
those things are cool. Yep.
Yes, arrow, like a archer's arrow, that kind of arrow.
No, air.
No.
Like
No,
floating air.
plant.
Where's my air plant?
You mean like Spanish moss that just takes moisture from the air
Kinda-
and
kinda
doesn't
like
actually
that. Yeah,
absorb?
it's all. Yep.
No,
kind
it's not a moss.
Right.
I guess it could be. It is
There
the
are
same
mosses
concept.
that are air plants.
It's the same concept. But yeah, so you just soak them once a week, and that's
I
it.
wasn't trying to name every one of them. I was just trying to give an example to say I do or don't understand what you're saying.
Yep.
It is the same concept.
God, I hate that.
Okay,
Spanish
so what about air plants?
They don't need soil.
Well, that's true.
Very true. Very cool. Oh, he has one.
Show them.
Yes. That's the thing.
Two.
Was there actually a tornado?
Told you I had it.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah, well,
I am.
if we're just talking about weird plants, devil's backbone will create an entirely different plant on it. That is, like it doesn't drop seed; it drops plants ready to grow.
Are you serious? I gotta see what
Yep.
that looks like.
Colloquially,
buy one.
devil's backbone. Yeah, it makes fully adult plants on the plant, and then they fall off and start rooting.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll look into it. But yeah, I gave Flo some exotic plants. I'm like, you better not kill them.
You bored out there.
Do you know what a pitcher plant is? Oh,
I
she's gone.
said,
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I've
Everyone's
heard of
waiting
it.
on you, Izzy. Go ahead, Izzy. Earth to Major Tom. Come in, Major Tom.
Yeah, she's probably losing signal driving.
Yeah, she is.
Maybe she'll come back. Flo, I don't know if you know it, but the old lady rule of when somebody gives you a plant is that you actually have to give a plant back.
Huh?
Yeah, that's like the old lady rule of
It's like
plant.
giving a guy a knife.
Yep.
Somehow I like instinctually knew that about the knife thing.
Oh yeah, that makes perfectly good sense, actually.
Wild shit.
Come on, somebody argue with me, or else I'm just going to drop off.
Argue what? Like theology or?
Yeah. You're a student of the Bible, aren't you, James?
Yeah, I'm gotta get more back into it though.
It means you haven't been a student recently, but have you been a serious student in the past?
I'm trying to shake him off of that.
I am too.
Oh, you are? Okay.
That's what I'm always doing, is trying to get people to like look at things reasonably from within their own belief systems.
Yeah. I got to say, of all the religions, yours is my favorite so far, whatever the fuck it is.
Doesn't have a name. It's just accepting things that are plausible in reality.
Yeah, I was gonna say his religion doesn't have a name.
I don't think it's a religion, because I think a religion is a set of practices that a person, acts in reality. That's what a religion is, and maybe they have some basis of things they believe in order to justify those acts.
Well, here's one. Just a question for you. Not really an argument, I guess. What would be, in your view, the most plausible hierarchy for benefit?
I'm sorry, hierarchy what?
What's the most beneficial hierarchy? What's the most plausible beneficial hierarchy? The most plausible for benefit.
Yeah, okay. If I say something, it's because I don't really understand the question, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. I think that the biblical Abrahamic God described in Isaiah is objectively the best thing for the human animal. And that is wisdom, knowledge, counsel, understanding, fear, power, and conservation. I, in fact, can't seem to improve on the list for human flourishing. And that if those things were perfectly followed, we would have universal human flourishing.
I am not a nice person. I strive every minute of the day to be nice, and I fail miserably at it.
Welcome, Grid One.
I do try to be nice. I don't know that I ever actually succeed at that. How are you?
Oh, all right. Same shit, new day. Been
Looks like I
arguing
missed all the fun.
Huh?
Looks like I missed all the fun. You guys were having a great back and forth.
We chased off the Muslim chatbots. I'm still not sure if that was AI or not.
I need your definition of fun, Grid.
Well, but we like arguing. We just need new material.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, because I think am I the only one here? Maybe, yeah, I'm the only one here who thinks that religion is nonsense.
You're not the only one.
True. Well,
That
okay.
is so not
You're
true.
not the only one.
Well, Brick
Sounds like you got
does
some
not.
people in
Brick,
agreement.
you're Christian through and through.
Well, no. Okay. Let me clarify this, because religion, to me, is nonsense as well.
Do you go to church?
No.
Do you believe in Jesus?
Do I believe? Yes,
That
I
he's
do
your
believe in
savior?
Jesus. Yes.
Okay. What does that make you?
Some form of Christian who doesn't go to church.
Makes him a male Christian.
See,
Yeah,
that's the funny thing. So I've heard that before, and I will accept the title, but I